You want to know something interesting? Whenever I design something, like say a poster, a book cover, or any design-oriented project, I don't have any problem later on using some of those elements or using all of those elements and cutting them apart and putting them together in new ways to create something new. However, when I paint a new piece like this, I struggle with the idea of taking this and putting it on products like say mugs or phone cases or whatever. There are some things that this could turn into as far as print on demand goes. I could take this and obviously turn it into prints. I can turn it into canvas wrapped canvases. Take it and put it on anything that has the same spatial relationship, like the 2:3 ratio, 4:5 ratio, whatever that is. But when I think about taking something like that and turning it into something like say a t-shirt with an all over print or shoes or a handbag or anything like that, I get weirded out by it. I'll do it all day long with my designs. But there's something about this canvas that's sacrosanct. About a month ago or so, I did this series called Choose Love. It's basically about these mini little pieces like this. They're all kind of heart-oriented. It was all based on this idea that there was just a lot of hateful things happening in the world at that exact moment. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna share an alternative view. I feel like this idea is something that could transcend into products. It definitely could be a print. It definitely could be some sort of wrapped canvas. It might even make it into a phone case, although the size may not make it work just because of the typography, and obviously it's gonna lose that heart dynamic. The alternative idea is to take this design, cut it apart, slice it up, and then put it into a layout that works for this and see how much I don't die. While I go scan this, I want you to do me a favor and go down in the comments and tell me if I'm crazy for thinking that the idea of like altering something that was hand painted, like there's something about the integrity behind that I can't alter. Am I nuts for thinking that way? Tell me. I'll be right back. First things first, let's scan. Now it says 300 DPI right here, but I'm actually gonna bump that up to 900. Let's just say that I actually enjoy what I'm doing here and I want this to be a much bigger thing. Well, then I need a much bigger image. Let's just hope that I don't crash my machine in the process. Fingers crossed. 5,300 pixels. Oh my gosh, I could print almost anything with that. I'm making a little color adjustment. Just I don't know, just make it look a little bit more interesting. It feels like there's not enough contrast. Let's add some contrast. I don't want to blow it out too much. That's too much up there. Bring that back down just a tad. So I'm not gonna work on this file. I'm gonna save it out as a raw file or a source file and put that someplace and then use it in the other document so that I can make it for the phone case. Now I tried to download a template, but it gave me the template in an Adobe Illustrator, which I can't use, and then it didn't have anything labeled. Like it didn't have any of the different phones types labeled, so I was like, well, I can't use that. So I'm just going based on these settings right here. The print area is 1287 by 2055. But now I want to give myself a little bit of freedom here, so I'm going to expand that. So here's my document. You can see I've got some guides here. This is going to be my safe zone. Like everything that I do is really going to happen in that space. Now let's go ahead and bring in the thing, and it's going to be huge compared to this, but I'm going to leave one as is, and then I'm just going to duplicate that and size this one down. This first one is going to be like my compensation for, okay, what do I want as the essential part of this design? Now obviously that Choose Love is part of it, so I want that in there, and maybe I want it to be a little bit bigger than that just for our purpose. Let's just get rid of this and just kind of see how everything plays out here. If I'm imagining an iPhone, it's gonna have a little thing here and this is gonna be it, but obviously I'm pulling the heart away from it. So maybe what I do is I'm gonna duplicate the bottom one again, and I'm gonna bring it to the front. I'm gonna isolate the heart here. So now I've got this new heart. Maybe I'll keep it, maybe I won't for now, because I know what I'm gonna do here, but I'm definitely gonna get rid of this, which is a hangover from this part right here. I'm gonna invert this. I'm just gonna change the colors, and I'm also gonna invert the orientation, and then I'm also going to change my blending mode. We'll just see what blending modes kind of look cool here. And maybe what I'll do is I'll just duplicate this heart several times over, and that way it's like, as you can see, I've got it set to difference. It'll invert it back and forth over and over again. So let's do that again. Let's duplicate that, bring that one in here like this, let that kind of exist in its own space, bring another one in here like that, something like that, another one over here, maybe make this one a tad bit bigger, and then another one on top of that, make that one a little smaller. Let them have an extra life in a different way. This hard line up here, that's a little weird. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a little bit of a mask on top of that one. I'm just gonna draw a little gradient right on that mask, just like that. There we go. And maybe this is good, and maybe it's not. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna export this file out. So I'm gonna do Command-Option-Shift-S. I'm gonna save this out as we're gonna save it out as a PNG so I get the best quality. Go over here, add that sucker, move it just a tad, because obviously it's not in the right spot. Preview it, there we go. And I could probably go back in and now edit my file for this. I didn't give myself enough freedom on either side. I wanted to put choose love in the center like that to get it away from this and away from the edge. I now have this section here, which is a compromise because I know that Printful is going to kick it back. So I'm like, hey, you're going to get a weird trim maybe because different phones, different sizes, different, things. And so it may not work for everything. That's why they give me this gray area to kind of tell me this is the area you need to design for and compensate for. You use your safe zone for all the other stuff. But I think I'm okay with, some of this coming off of the edge like that. So we can preview it. You know what it says, even though it's clipped a little. Let's go ahead and save this product. Give it a price point, I think $30 safe. So I'm gonna go ahead and publish that in the shop. There it is, choose love. You can buy this right now for iPhone 11 only. Didn't mean to do that. We will fix that. We'll do it again. Here's the real thing, okay? So as I'm sitting here doing this, as I'm making this, it occurred to me what's actually happening. I'm not changing the integrity of that particular piece. I'm creating a brand new piece using the materials of that piece. There is an argument that I'm tearing it apart and making it into something else, and maybe that's where the integrity breaks down. But as I was making it, it felt like this is something completely new, especially as I started to take elements and just make it something new. Shush, whoever's trying to contact me. Even though it has the same name as the piece, it's not the same piece. It's a different piece. It's no different than all of these pieces, all being Choose Love pieces. They're all individual. They all have their own identity, and this new piece, this new phone case, is its own thing too. So I guess I talked myself out of that whole thing, and now, whether you were helpful or not, thank you very much. So when it comes to designing products, outside of the whole aspect of trying to figure out whether our art works for them or not, we also have to figure out, are we gonna be able to handle things? Are we gonna be able to do the jobs? So you might wanna check out one of these two videos because both of them are gonna explain different aspects, different things you need to think about when it comes to print on demand. Now it's late, my wife just called me to dinner, so I'm gonna go. I've been awesome, you've been Dave, I'll see you next time.